Today we are going to look at Azure Traffic Manager. It's a regional load balancer with many abilities from Azure. Let's walk through the Azure Traffic Manager scenario. Here we have a traffic manager and a deployment across two Azure regions. Here we have two VMs running across a load balancer. Load balancer is Azure load balancer running in a particular region and monitors the VM within that region. This is Azure Traffic Manager that manages the traffic between two Azure regions. Now let's build the entire infrastructure in the cloud. We would be using Azure ARM template to deploy this infrastructure in cloud. ARM is a new deployment model from Azure. You can find more about the resource manager over here. For the deployment, we would be using PowerShell. I won't be going in much details for this ARM deployment. You can read yourself over the Azure help guide. This is the ARM template open in Visual Studio, which we are going to use to deploy on Azure. As you see, this template has various parameters, variables, and resources, which are the hardware components, which would be created when we deploy this template on cloud. Here we define the parameters value, which we'll use during deployment. This file contains parameter value which are picked up during the deployment. We would be using a tool called PowerShell ISC for deployment. Here you see a PowerShell commandlet to deploy the template in Azure. It has a template and template parameter file name has the input. Let's execute this script. It takes couple of minutes to execute. I would fast forward in time towards the completion. Done. Our script has been executed. Till now we have created a resource in one region. We would offlinely replicate the same in the other region. Now we'll see the creation of Azure Traffic Manager. We are on the Azure Portal. We will create a new Traffic Manager. Note, we see two Traffic Manager on the portal. One is for the classic model and other is for the resource-based one. We would be using the resource-based one. We have none. We will create a new one. Here are the parameters for the traffic manager. Name is important as it would act as the DNS to access our traffic manager. Select the rest of the parameters. Here you see different routing methods. Performance routing selects the region with the lowest latency from where you are accessing the site. Weighted is for round-robin distribution. Priority is for failover, which we would be using in our scenario. Select the resource group. This asks for the region where we need to deploy our traffic manager. You can deploy it in any region, but for redundancy, deploy in the West Europe region. We would fast forward in time the provisioning. Done. Our traffic manager has been created. Now we'll see the properties for our newly created traffic manager. Now we'll add the region endpoints. We have none. Let's add one. We would be adding a Euro region load balancer public IP. Let the priority be 1 and hit OK. It would take a minute or so to add the endpoint. Till now we have created the traffic manager and configured the endpoint. Similarly, offline we could create the other endpoint for Southeast Asia region. Done. We have configured both the endpoints. Now let's test the Traffic Manager. For this, we need Traffic Manager DNS name, which we would be hitting this in the browser. This would land us on the Euro region site. Yep, it's working. Now we'll test the failover scenario with the Traffic Manager. For this, we would be shutting down the Europe region VMs and check if traffic redirects to the Southeast Asia region. We would be using PowerShell to shut down the VMs. It may take a couple of minutes. Fast forwarding in time. Done. VM has been shut down and Traffic Manager has identified the problem. Traffic Manager monitoring reports Euro endpoint has been degraded. For clear picture, let's see this in expanded view. Now let's test the Traffic Manager again and see if it redirects to Southeast Asia region. Yup, it does. This confirms Traffic Manager failover has worked. This concludes our demonstration. Thanks for watching.